Hey guys, it's Jen at Jen's Haunts, and y'all know that I got my tree all done the other day, so I've got my pictures together and I'm ready to do my how-to to show you how I got here and the steps that I took and the supplies that I used. This was a quick, easy project. It took me a total of 5 days of spare time that I had, and it was relatively very inexpensive. Other than the wire, everything was very inexpensive. So I really encourage you to make one rather than buy it from Spirits or Grandin Road. You guys can do it, and I'm going to show you how I made mine. Okay, you guys, so the first thing I wanted to show you was the base. This is a flange that you screw into the bottom. The flange is threaded, so you have to buy a male adapter, which is threaded as well, and that was made out of PVC. Then I slipped the middle piece of the PVC. They were all 10 foot long to start with. I put that into the flange adapter and glued it in. So here you see that I've tried to beef up the bottom of the tree with spare PVC that I just found around the house. First I taped it together, and then I went back and zip tied it later, you know, just to make sure it was how I wanted it before I really attached it. I used some eye screws on here. I did pre-drill that hole and put that into the PVC, and then I also attached that to the base. My base is made out of 2x4s with one piece of wood over the top and then another piece of wood over that. So once that was one big solid piece and it was heavy, I needed to make sure that my tree wasn't going to blow over. So here is the zip ties going from the eye screws, and it's all zip tied together. The tree does sway a little bit in the wind, but the base never moves. If you were concerned, you could put holes in your base and then some rebar in there, or, you know, I know you guys are crafty, you could figure it out, but mine is heavy enough and it's fine. So here I am with my 10-foot tall PVC, and I'm cutting this to different lengths so that I'll get the shape that I want after the heat gun was applied. So here I am. I made the branch for my bat first, and I'm just making sure that he looks how I want and he's going to hang where I want. So here it is after I've applied the heat gun and bent all the parts to the shape that I wanted. I did use gloves while doing that, and I've showed you guys my heat gun like 100 times, so I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so here it is with the bat. I've pretty much decided that my owl will need to be at the base somewhere because I did make a limb for it, but it didn't seem like it was going to be feasible to get him up there and get him to stay. So here's my bend. With your heat gun, you don't want to overheat it or you're going to create a weak spot. You just want to create a bend. So less is more. So here it is with the copper wire, or you can use chicken wire, and it was wrapped up in a galvanized rope, thread, whatever. I unwrapped all that, and I ended up just using that because I really like the thickness. But a lot of this, I could just kind of wrap it around itself and hook it on with the end pieces that I had cut, and it stayed just fine like that. My branches ended up being longer after I did the wire, and that was great too. So here I am applying the plastic. I just used black hefty bags and wrapped it around each other. It sticks to the bag more than it sticks to the wire, but once it was all done, it was, you know, one solid piece, and it's waterproof, even though it wouldn't really matter too much if water got into it, because I you know, at the end I painted everything. So here's the beginning of the texture that I'm getting. I had already decided that I was going to apply a second coat of plastic at the end, and I'll show you that in a minute. So here it is the next day once it's all been coated, and the wire, I brought it all the way down and made it look, you know, something like roots or whatever. and covered some of the base. It looked good. So here I'm beginning to create my little graveyard at the bottom. That front, nameplate, I just glued that on, and the cross I used a skewer, a wooden skewer, and a little bit of foam glue, and just pressed that in to the nameplate. The back here I made out of 2 different pieces of insulation foam, and I cut them to tilt like that. Here's the back. So you see how this was one piece and that was one piece. I cut them at those angles, and then I used a washer and a screw and pushed them right into the 2x4 base. So here is a picture of that. So here I've decided to put Nevermore on the front, and I've got them painted. And the Nevermore all wraps up to the name in my cemetery. So that was perfect. So here's a look at that. And here's my end result. So now I've applied a second coat of plastic on the front. And, with the heat gun and my gloves, I squished that plastic to look how I wanted. And then at the very end of the project, I painted the whole thing flat black spray paint that was Rust-Oleum that sticks to plastic. So then it was just like a buff black. Then I went through and I dry brushed it with just gray lightly, and I put moss on it, which the front moss is Spanish moss. The back moss was just scrap moss that I found in the garage, but I wanted to have 2 different colors going there. And then here's a look at that. I just want to go back, and this Spanish moss that I hung here, I did apply that with just my glue gun. So far it's sticking, but if I need to apply more, that's fine too. The more the weathered look, it's just going to look more authentic. So there's that, you guys. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But really, I did 3 videos on this project. So really, anything you want to know, I did the 3 videos, and then I did this one. So make yourself a scary tree this Halloween. It was a fun project, and it only took me a total of 5 days in my spare time. So that's it, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you later.